I'm Carol Kelso, CNS Next, Thomasville today. We're right outside the Lives Without Limits building with Billy Joe Beverly. Glad to have you back.
Hey, thank you. Good to be back.
All right, Lives Without Limits. A lot of people that know what that is, but give us an overview because there may be some people watching that have no idea
Okay.
all of the incredible things you do.
All right. Well, thank you very much. So, this year we're going to have our annual benefit banquet dinner out at the Thomasville Exchange Club, and it's October the 20th. The doors open at 6.
Okay.
Dinner is from 6 to 7:30. We also will have a silent live auction, games, and raffles, and so it's our way of fundraising. But we also make it a focus of a community outreach program, education of who we are, what we do.
All right, let's talk a little bit about who you are.
We are a 501c3 nonprofit that myself and two other ladies began over 13 years ago. And the reason why we started it was because one of the ladies, her husband had a brain aneurysm, very unexpected, and he was a big hunter. And because of that, we realized there was no activities, there was no organization that really focused on getting an individual back outside hunting and enjoying outdoor activities.
Can we take a little sidebar?
Yes.
You've done extensive research on health issues and being outdoor.
Yes, as a matter of fact, that's one of the reasons why when we were becoming a 501c3, we submitted the paperwork that there's direct data research out there that by a person getting out, having outdoor activity or having a community or having a network system, it reduces the health care expenditures on that individual. So that was one aspect of it. The second aspect was our other co-founder. Her husband had ALS, and because of the ALS, it was difficult for her to get him out of the house. I still remember the statement that she said to me 14, 15 years ago. It was, if you can't get a person out of the house, how can they go hunting or fishing?
Wow.
With that being said, that's when we decided to connect the two avenues together. So it became a mission of helping an individual have activities of daily living, equipment that's needed for whatever it may be, being able to get out of the house, which could be a ramp, or being able to take a shower, having the right adaptive equipment, and even being able to go somewhere. Once a person becomes disabled or they're in a wheelchair, it's very limited on their accessibility of a car. Being able to get in a car, drive themselves to see their child's performance, or to go to the grocery store, go to church, whatever it may be. Those are very limited things. So that's what we started doing.
Sometimes we associate Lives Without Limits with a wheelchair, but it isn't just about hunting and fishing in wheelchairs.
Right.
You kind of hit it on a little earlier.
It's not just the wheelchair. It may be the bed. It may be the bathroom. It may be the home. It may be just being able to get outdoors just to have fresh air. And so that's part of what we do. Unfortunately, a wheelchair does usually end up being a part of the mix because that's their locomotion. We had somebody probably about 6 months ago coined as something very well for me, or it just actually stuck in my brain. It was, we've been given tools, and so from those tools, it allowed a person to accept their disability, accept being able to go out and do things, but it required the acceptance of that tool. So whether that tool is an adaptive vehicle, that tool is adaptive by having a wheelchair, or it's an adaptive bed, those are the things that are the tools.
Wow. It pretty big gamut of how you can help people appreciate the ability to get outside, to leave their bed, to drive a car. Now, do you have an example this year of I know y'all been involved in so much, but tell us how the fundraiser creates more income and more adaptability for Lives Without Limits.
With the fundraiser, we do submit for grants, and we have grants that are specific to client need services, whether the client need service is, again, a ramp, a wheelchair, is it adaptability to the vehicle to get them to be able to drive themselves somewhere, or having a caregiver to take them somewhere. But also on the fundraising side, there's a lot of manpower that goes into navigating that backside of the world. We've had somebody that was a donor and has been a very faithful donor for years. Something happened in their family. They ended up having a diagnosis, and they were out of town having that diagnosis handled. But when they got back home, they're like, we don't know what to do. Where do we go? So they picked up the phone, called us, and on the backside, we're helping them navigate their insurance to be able to get where they need to go to get the therapy that might be needed. So that's some of the things that we do.
You really help people just drill down and probably bring a lot of peace and just ease things up on a difficult situation, and you're always there. You're kind of like a 24/7, but we won't tell anybody.
We try to be. There's times that we're not able to be 24/7, but we had another situation. Somebody, probably about 6 months ago, they were at a friend's house. They were playing with the kids of the friends, and because of something they did, they ended up having both of their ankles fractured.
Whoa.
They reached out to us the very next day. We were able to provide and get a portable ramp so that they were able to go in and out of the house to be able to live, to be able to function.
Everything that we take for granted.
Absolutely.
But when it happens to you, you're like, where do we turn? And Lives Without Limits is one of those.
Well, and that's also, you just hit that nail on the head there, because when you're in the middle of something, it's your emergency, it's your urgency. It may not be ours,
Right.
but it's yours. So we try to live the world of, when we have something happening, we're in that crisis mode. So we try to help that crisis mode, help them understand it's okay. You have a support system. We try to be here to the best of our ability to be able to help that need.
And that is so much a part of your annual fundraiser.
Absolutely.
And you get it's very well attended, and you have great gifts
Our auction
the
items.
auction
Yes.
items
And
great, from people around town.
Absolutely.
Businesses around town.
We could not do what we're doing if it was not for our community.
It's a community effort.
We reach out for donations. We're given great donations. And so because of those donations, that's how we raise our funds.
And it brings us to the table. So a table,
Absolutely.
we can either purchase a table or purchase an individual ticket.
Absolutely. We have our
be a
individual.
sponsor?
That's right. Our individual tickets are $75. Our sponsorships are $150, $300, $600, $1,000, $2,500, and $5,000.
Or more.
Or more. Absolutely. Absolutely, or more.
Absolutely. This is a great organization. So give us the date and time again and the place.
October 20th. Doors open at 6 o'clock. Dinners from 6 to 7:30. It usually is going until about 9:45, 10 o'clock.
Okay.
From the different games, the games, the raffles, the silent auction, and the live auction. But it's going to be held at the Thomasville Exchange Club.
Now, how do I get a ticket?
You can call us at 229-236-5965.
Okay. Go on your website? Or
We
just
have a
phone call?
website.
All
It
right.
is www.lwlga.org.
Lives Without Limits.
Yes.
Perfect. We're looking forward to that.
All right. Awesome.
It's always fun in October.
Awesome.
It's
It
great
is.
weather.
We are truly blessed in Thomasville. The month of October, probably November too. There is, if you want something to do, Thomasville is a place to be.
Believe me. CNS Next knows.
I bet y'all do.
Thank you so much, Billy
All right,
Joe.
awesome. Thank
It's
you.
going to be great. Well, there you are. Billy Joe Beverly with Lives Without Limits, talking about the upcoming fundraiser. You don't want to miss it. It's a great price, $75 a ticket, and all the activities involved with it. That's October
20th.
20th. All right. Thanks so much for watching. Never know where we're going to be or what we will be doing, but we do know it'll be great.